Hello everyone, my name's Robin Raymond, now work for North East Ambulance Service. Firstly, I hope you're safe and well at home with this very unusual time that we're going through at the minute. However, I've got some stuff where I want to help you learn and have a little bit more of an understanding about the ambulance service, and we're going to look today at using 999 and 111. Ambulance Mini Medics was created by the training team at North East Ambulance Service, and we're really proud to be providing this service to schools all around the North East. We cover over 3,000 miles, and it's all thanks to the managers at the training department of North East Ambulance Service. So why might we use 999 and who might we ask for? So you can see there, we've got a fire engine, they protect us from fire. We've got the police there, they protect us from crime. We've got the RNLI, they help us if we're out at sea. We've got the ambulance service if we're ever injured and in need. And we've also got the Coast Guard and the Mountain Rescue, who we can also ask when we ring 999. So using 999, back in 1927, even I wasn't born then, dialing 0 was the recommended method for asking for the police, the fire or the ambulance service. 1935, unfortunately 5 women died in a house fire in London. When the fire started, all of the neighbours pressed 0 and got through to the switchboard. However, the switchboard was so jammed, none of the calls could be answered. So unfortunately, the fire brigade could not be told about the fire. 2 years later, in 1937, you might need to remember that, 1937, 999 was first introduced into the London area. Now, all of us now, our parents, our grandparents, our guardians, all carry mobile phones. So back in 1986, the first ever 999 call was made from a mobile phone. 999 is the world's oldest emergency services number, and initially a red lamp would flash and klaxons would sound to alert the operator when the call was coming in. 30 million emergency services calls are made per year to the emergency services. So, why would we ring 999 and ask for the ambulance? Do you like my ambulance? It looks really cool. So, loss of consciousness. So let's look at fainting. So things like anxiety, low blood pressure, dehydration when we haven't drank enough on a hot day, or our heart might even skip a beat, but not the Ollie Murs song, and even drugs and alcohol. Acute confusion. So, acute confusion, that could be something like a stroke. Have you heard of a stroke before? Well, what we do is we do something called the FAST test. The F standing for face. We would ask the patient if they can show us their tongue or their teeth, or even give us a smile to see what their face is like and if they can raise their face on both sides. A for arms. Can they put their arms out in front of them and hold them there? S, speech. We might ask them to say, baby hippopotamus. I mean, to be honest, that's hard for me to say. Or British Constitution, which is even harder for me to say. But if somebody's had a stroke, this might be quite difficult for them to say. And the T is for time, and time to ring 999. Seizures. Now, some people do have seizures. You can have seizures and not be epileptic. So epilepsy does cause seizures. However, sometimes in younger children, they can't control their body temperature, which might then cause a seizure. However, this does not mean that that child is epileptic. Chest pains. So, chest pains. Let's think about a heart attack. A heart attack is where there's a blockage in the artery and the blood cannot travel through to the heart. If you're with somebody and they start having breathing difficulties, you may need also ring 999. This could include asthma, COPD and a few other breathing difficulties. But if they need the ambulance, you know what number to ring. Severe bleeding. Could be a stabbing, could be a shooting. You might have just fell over and cut yourself. But but at any sort of severe bleed, we need to get onto the phone and ring 999. And always remember to try and apply pressure where possible to stop the bleeding. Allergies. At this time of year, hay fever is absolutely horrendous. The top of your mouth's itchy, your eyes are itchy, your nose is itchy, you're sneezing a lot. But we know how we can deal with that by taking something like antihistamine. However, there's a lot of people out there with food allergies, egg, milk, nuts, shellfish, things like that. So there's a lot of different allergies out there. Burns and scalds. Now, I would imagine that most of us have been on holiday and then most of us have probably had a little bit of sunburn before. But what about the next step of burn? What about actually burning our hands or pouring scalding water on there? If this was a case, cold water, lots and lots of cold water, and after a certain amount of time, we would then wrap that up in cling film to then take you onto the ambulance and take you away to hospital. But any sort of burn or scalds that's really serious, ring 999. Also, we've got things like road major trauma or road traffic collisions, which is a car crash. Anything like that, we're going to need an ambulance there. We've also got shooting and stabbings, like we've already said, fall from height or head injury. They are all things that will need to be looked at when we get taken to hospital. So, when we ring 999, of course, we've got the police, the fire, the ambulance, as well as the RNLI and the Coast Guard. So when we ring 999, we're going to say which emergency services we need. Give them our address and our phone number. Stay calm and stay on the line as they might have some questions. But don't be afraid, because that person on the other end of the phone is there to help you until we can arrive in our green uniforms and our big yellow ambulance. So we've rang 999 and asked for an ambulance. I wonder what the very first question is that we're going to be asked. Let's have a think. What about, is the patient breathing? That's the most important thing that we need to know as an ambulance service to categorise the call. What's your address and where you're calling from? What's your telephone number so we can get back in touch with you in case we need to? And what is the reason for your call? All vitally important to find so we can make sure that we get the ambulance to you as soon as possible. Now, what to do in a non-emergency? Well, there's another number. Not only have we got 999, we've got 111, and that's when it's less urgent than 999. So, self-care. Maybe we don't actually have to ring anybody at all and we can look after ourselves. Our grandparents, our parents at home will hopefully have some Calpol and things like that to look after us if we've got a high temperature or a bad head or anything like that. You can still talk to your pharmacist. You can go to the pharmacist, whether it's in a supermarket, or you can go to your pharmacist and just talk to them about your symptoms, and they might be able to advise what you need. Your GP is general practitioner, which is your doctor. And again, with things not being normal at the minute, it might be a little bit more difficult to get an appointment with the doctor, but you might be really lucky and get a telephone consultation with the doctor. Remember, you can do this using 111. Now, we've got walk-in centres. The walk-in centres are there to try and take as much pressure off A&E as possible, and if we've got some sort of little bug or an illness, we can go to the walk-in centre and ask for that help. And of course, we've got our urgent care centres. So if we've got a sprain or anything like that, where we've heard also about sprain our wrist, our ankle, anything like that, we can then go to the urgent care centres there, where they'll be able to x-ray it and bandage it up for us, again taking the pressures off A&E. So those three questions that I said about earlier on. When was the 999 phone number first created? So was it 1934? I don't think so. 1932 maybe? Or 1937. And if you got that right, well done. If you didn't, makes no difference, it's a learning curve. Next question. On average, how many emergency services calls are made a year? 10 million, 20 million, or 30 million? Can you remember when we spoke about this? So I think it's probably about 30 million. And if you got that right, well done. Now, who can you not contact via 999? Now, I've got Hannah helping me here today. So let's see if Hannah's learned anything. So Hannah, can you contact the vet by ringing 999?
That's a hard one.
Well, have a think about it then.
I don't think you can.
I think you're right. Yeah, you cannot contact the vet using 999. Now, I know you've seen this a million times on the telly, all about the coronavirus and the pandemic that's happening at the minute. However, just another tip from us. Wash your hands with soap and water more often for 20 seconds. So as you can see there, number 1, palm to palm. Number 2, the back of your hands. Number 3, in between your fingers. Number 4, the back of your fingers. Number 5, your thumbs. And number 6, the tips of your fingers. And do this more often than you would normally. We want you to stay safe and protect yourself, you and your family. It's not just the badge, it's the heart behind it. And when we say that, all of the hard work that you guys are doing to stay safe isn't just about the NHS, it's about you guys protecting us as well. We're going to be doing some more videos about CPR, using a defib. You might even get to see my friend Mildred, who might get the bandage up. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.